doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
What's happening, my boy?
You feel me?
That looks like a heavy ass chain, my boy.
It is. It is. It compliments CrowdFreak.
Is that from the recent chaining day, or is that from longer?
I was a part of the first generation of the CrowdFreak chains.
Yeah, man. I think it's so lit how they do that. It's like incredible. Just really showing love and really putting something where it's like, we're investing in you, we believe in you, because you're gonna be able to be competent enough to take this thing to the next level, which is an important thing. Anybody who starts an event organization, or anybody who starts something that's really cultural based and based on expansion and really bringing in tens of thousands of people, needs people behind it that can take it to that level, that can pivot it to that level. So every person on board needs to be competent. I'm sure you're beyond expectation when it comes to that.
Yeah, that and loyalty too, right? It's like me and Kurt, we helped start this shit. Well, I helped start it. Kurt really did all the way, you know what I'm saying? But you know, since we've been doing this shit since 2016, 2017, like that type of loyalty, everybody that got changed was all like around during that time, or around for big pivotal moments for the change situation. So just in general for the whole movement. So this is kind of like a proof of loyalty, proof of concept, you know, if you stick around and if you work hard enough, you know.
For sure.
Then
I like how you said that, though. Loyalty is like this. It's probably the number one or number two when it comes to a business, man.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Number one, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't build a foundation of a business is trust, and that trust only comes with loyalty.
For sure. Tell everybody where you're from, bro.
I'm from Detroit, Joy Road, you know, and block shit, you know.
Was your life when you were growing up, were you always involved in entertainment, or did that come like later in life?
It came later. So funny thing is, I always used to write, but I never really like had confidence to go and like actually get on the beat and stuff. But my brother started managing Quincy Banks, and that's how I met Corey and all of them. So when I started seeing them they was consistently doing shows in the studio all the time. I started seeing how like the magic really works and like how to make a good song. So after just being around them, I'm like, I know I could probably do something like this too. So I just started trying shit. I was trash as hell for like the first 3-4 years, but once I started like refining my skills and start understanding like what's me and what's not me, and where my style and pocket is, from there, that's when I started taking it more seriously and investing more into it, because I understood the like marketing aspect of it more so than like just going to the studio and shooting videos. You know?
Well, they're taking a few years. So, like, what year did you start, and what year do you feel like you figured out your style?
That's a good question. So 2016 was my first time I've ever dropped a rap song. I will say that I didn't start getting a good hang of what I was doing probably, I mean, if I'm realistic, probably like 2020, 2021, where I felt like I know what my pocket is, right? Yes. Like I feel like the first couple years in your music, you just exploring. You always exploring, but you really just exploring with your sound. You make the right song, you're like, okay, this is my pocket. And then from there, you just start developing and honing in on that pocket. And that may develop over time, but like I know exactly what type of beat I want. I know exactly what type of rhythm I want to go into, what type of cadence I'm going to go into, because I done honed in on that part of it.
Yeah, and that's about trusting the process. Did you consciously know throughout the times of like not knowing what your music was going to be? Did you know like, damn, I'm not saying it right now, but I'm going to get there?
My brother will remind me. My brother Kurt, I send him to something to him. And the good thing about having people around you that's honest, you know what I'm saying? They'll just tell you straight up. Like either he won't listen to it, that's why I know it's not good, or he'll be like, nah, this ain't it. Hit me with the Charlemagne, nah, this ain't it, which is fine. Because I'm so used to that, like my whole family is very, very honest. So when it comes up to stuff, it's like, I'm so numb to honesty that it's actually a good thing. So then that just helped me having the right people around me and seeing people reactions. You know, when you hearing somebody and you feel like you beating their ass by playing a 3-minute song, like that's when you like, all right, yeah, let me refine the tools type.
For
shit.
sure. And with you being on Say Cheese so often, it's like that's the ultimate test for social media. I think Say Cheese is the most brutally honest
100%.
like audience base. So they're in, but I see a lot of support. I've seen a lot of support with Doublemint. I've seen people really tapping it. I've seen like maybe 5 comments of people like, what the fuck? But that's always going to come with it.
Yeah.
But overall, it was like a very, very, very positive response. How did you feel when you seen that most people were fucking with the single?
That's a great question. I definitely, it was like validation for real, because I know how much like it wasn't a lot to make this song. Like really, honestly, like I probably created the song in like 15, 20 minutes, like punch in, punch out.
Yeah.
But the bigger part of why that song was like why that validation is important, because at the time I'm like spending money in the process just to try to test things out. I'm testing different markets out. And once I saw that like on Say Cheese, which is like pretty objective market, everyone fucking with it, I'm like, okay, cool, this is something that I need to continue to push. So it's a lot of like stuff that I have planned out for it too. It's like, you know, when you get a single that people fuck with, you can't just leave it alone. And sometimes it might not blow up in the first 2 weeks or the first 2 months or the first 5-6 months. It might take a year or two but if you got a song that is like objectively people agree with and there's way more yeses than nos on it, then you should be putting all you possibly can into that song. And then from there, you know, something's going to shake with that song eventually, for sure.
You have so much faith in that you're willing to invest in it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And letting it happen organically is such a rare case for people to like organically just push something and it's like, oh, it's gonna blow up and go super viral because it's that fire. It's more so the machine is pushing it, which is your wallet, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you're behind a label's behind you or something. So with that validation, getting it from like I said, one of the most brutally honest fan bases, which is Say Cheese, how did it motivate you to move forward, and what was like the next plot in your mind?
For me, the biggest thing was once I started seeing that, I started planning out how my summer is gonna look with promoting it. Like I got a couple things that's coming up for it, right? Like I just got an Audi Q5, so I'm gonna do this thing every week where it's like, or every other week, where it's called Live from the Q5, but it's gonna be QUE, and it's basically gonna be dropping the mic down. I'm doing like different freestyles and just overall like mic performances for that. So like just finding different ways to market it that way. I bought like $600 worth of Doublemint gum and I just be like at events throwing it, like handing them out to people, you know, and also just putting in the videos and stuff. Just like overall, a lot of it, like there's a lot of other plans I got mapped out for it too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's mostly just trying to figure out like just testing stuff, like right, like no, everybody, like only the few, which is like the labels, really know what works, right? So as an independent artist, you're constantly trying to see what works, what doesn't work, even if something is successful, right? Like what you just said to Say Cheese, right? Like I'm not on right now, right? So it's like just trying to figure out how do I translate that into a bigger marketing scheme and get the right traction on it. And sometimes that means spending, like you said, a lot of money and trying to tap into the right market.
Yeah, exactly. And the marketing dollar is so much. It's like the thing that's crazy is all these platforms charge everybody because they don't give a fuck anymore.
No, not
unless you did something super insanely creatively viral, they literally will not put anybody on anymore. It's literally like you got to pay to get on because we have 1 billion people that are hot right now.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll find real fans because they'll stop and listen to you, which makes it even better for you, honestly.
Yep.
Like it makes it even better to know that one person that stopped and listened is like, I fuck with this shit. Versus like it's just mass produced and it's like they're almost forced to listen to it. I like your style, man. I feel a lot of soul in your music. I feel like you're really articulate and you're dialed in with substance behind your music. I don't think you're just saying whatever. How conscious are you of the writing process? Is it a writing process? Is it a punching in process? How do you develop your lyricism and the construct of the songs?
That's a good question. I feel like as far as like every song is different process, if that makes sense. So like certain songs I might write to, right? So like every day I hold myself accountable to writing at least 2 to 3 songs a day. Yeah. So like if I'm in there writing the song, like that's like a way different feel. And even then I might rap it through a couple times after I wrote it, and I'll be like, or I get to the studio and I'll try to put it on wax and I'll be in there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this ain't it. I'm gonna scratch this, right? And then I'll start piecing out like different bars of that song and then use it for if I do need to do a punch in, punch out situation. So every song is different in that regard. I'm very intentional about making sure that like I have a line every 4 bars or whatever the case may be, so that way people know like, okay, like I'm saying some shit, right? So just trying to find different ways to catch people's ear. That's like the most important part to me, is finding ways to catch people's ears, finding things that people can relate to, and things that could be like Instagram caption worthy, you know what I mean? And it's like sometimes it's easy to do that, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I overthink it and I might say a bar and be like, oh yeah, people gonna fuck with this. People don't get it at all. So it's just a matter of like taking that and from there, just trying to spin off into a song that makes sense. That's like that all comes together. And every time it's not gonna work. I probably, out of all the songs I release, every year I record at least 1,100 songs.
God damn.
And of the 1,100 songs, I probably drop like 14. So that tells you like how much. Like that's basically like 1.4% of my like music that I actually record a year, I drop. But a lot of it is just figuring out the right rhythm, understanding like not everything you record you need to drop. Sometimes you might be able to piece off stuff, different things, but it's all about going and sharpening the tool. So that's
like sparring or kind of working out. It's not always about making a song just to put it out.
Yep.
But staying sharp at all times, which is smart as fuck. That's why we're hearing so much trash. I think some of these artists like literally go in the studio like, man, I spent $75 in the recording session. I might as well put the song out. It's like, man, you're hurting your fucking brand and artistry with this bullshit.
Yeah, people don't have patience. Like people, as soon as they record, they just want to drop it because they're excited for it. I'm very meticulous. I bring a song in. Right before I drop it, I'm sending it to like 5 people, see what their reactions. I'm playing it around, see if people bob their head to it and say, "What's this?" If I'm not getting one of these little faces, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm not dropping it." So
that's a great point too. The patience as an artist, it's because you got to run it like a business a little bit. I remember there was a time where I was like releasing podcast clips at like, I'm like, "Fuck it, bro, 9:30 p.m. at night," and it's like nobody's like looking at that bitch. Yeah. But if I dropped it at 11 o'clock and just waited, all of a sudden the engagement's crazy. Everybody, there's more awareness. You have to have that patience. That's the hardest thing for people because the instant gratification of social media, of just posting something that sometimes you're like, you can't wait. But waiting is very, very important. And planning is important too. Can you talk about the beginning times of CrowdFreak for you? Like how did it all get introduced?
Oh yeah. So funny thing was, me and Kurt go back on this story, but I'm the nigga that created Crowd. No, I'm joking. No, the real situation of CrowdFreak was we was in the car. He was managing Quincy just before I even started rapping. He was like the biggest problem that we had was getting performances, right? And when you do, there was like only type of performances that there was like perform for a TV, right? So it's like outside of that, like we wanted to get on stage for real opportunities, and there was nothing out there that was available for artists to do that. Kurt was just like stressing out about it because he got artists that he trying to do. He got BBP at the time, BBP Mafia at the time. They was going crazy, but we didn't have enough performances to do. So I'm like, Kurt, why won't you just start doing shows yourself, doing showcases, and like I didn't have the idea formulated, but like from there, you know, you give Kurt like one like small little detail of an idea, he gonna run off and make it a multi-million-dollar business, right? So with that, that's Kurt started curing up the stuff, start like going out the details. I remember our first show that we threw was with Band Gang at the Masonic Temple. Like because of where we were at the time, we didn't know a lot about promotion and stuff, but you know they still came in, did their thing, but like we was definitely new to the game, did not understand how to promo and marketing situation. So it was on our end, it was kind of like a like not that many people were there, but from there we start understanding, oh, this is what we need to do. Oh, like we did, like Kurt reinvented the whole like showcase industry for real, like with how you market a showcase. Like beforehand, it was not like people wasn't like getting their own flower, wasn't doing all this other stuff. Like Kurt, there's a lot of strategic things that Kurt did, and a lot of like mathematical stuff that had went into showcases in order to make it to where it was, and then that translated into concerts, that's translated into Backwoods and Bonfires, that translated into the studio, translated into, you know, like the distribution that we have, DistroFreak or CrowdFreak distribution, which, you know, by the way, make sure if you're an artist, make sure you upload your music on that. But yeah, like it's just all these different things like came in from like one small idea, understanding like the artist is who we care about. So because that artist is who we care about, like trying to tap in and help and assist the artist throughout every step of the process. So that's why we had videos, we had like studios, we have, you know, like the distribution part. So like every own and the promotion and the management and the actual performance part. So every part of an artist's career, like we can touch in and help and assist, you know. So
I mean, I kind of watched the beginning of CrowdFreakish because it was what year did it start? 2016, 2017?
I would say the first show was 2017.
17, yeah. So I was like watching pretty early on because that's kind of when I hopped in the Detroit bag too. So I was seeing it and I was like, I thought it was way bigger than what it was when it first started. I thought it was like already a ginormous thing. I was like, oh shit, CrowdFreak is like fucking rock star shit. Like you can't even get there. And then I realized it's really still grassroots. Like it's really the community is involved. The people that are involved in the hip hop community, the rap community, entertainment community, all super involved in it, and it's like everybody's crafting themselves, and there's like I love the idea that it's a community of supportive other artists. Like you guys are all having each other's backs. It's not like a competitive thing.
No, not at all.
And it's a genuine nature, and I'm sure everybody that's a part of it is a genuine person, and that's why they get to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So what was the biggest difficulties helping to propel CrowdFreak?
That's a good question. I think probably a better question for Kurt, but I think from my perspective, the bigger problems, I think, or the bigger things to get over the hump was more so gaining the traction of like the community, right? And building that community is something that takes a long time. And with that, it takes a lot of like, you're dealing with a bunch of humans, right? So like with that, there's a lot of different point of views and perspectives, and over time as you build that community, that and monetizing it in a way that's fair, I think was the biggest thing that you have to overcome, right? Because like people don't like the ideology of pay for play, but in actuality, like this is the cheapest route, like you know what I'm saying, to get promoted in your field is to go through like the CrowdFreak red carpet experience, right? So, and if you're consistent with that, like more often than not, most people get more traction, and it's always net positive for somebody who goes under that red carpet experience. But it's just a matter of trial and error. And I think it took us like a while to find where the sweet spot is. And I feel like now we got a good rhythm as far as like how we move, what's the next steps, how we expand as a business too. So I think the community aspect of it and gaining the trust of our, like, I want to say customer base, but our like the people that like do business with us is the biggest thing. Or I would say, yeah, I guess you could say the community.
The credibility is important, especially if you're trying to like land a major artist to open up, to a headline or whatever. So it's like they have to know this shit's been going on for a while, so no hiccups can happen. The Cash Doll one was fucking insane. I think it's Backwoods and Bonfires. Yeah. That was fucking, bro. That Cash Doll show. I literally, when I pulled up, I was like, there's about to be like 1,000 people. I pull up, I'm like, this is a crowd. Yeah. It's literally like the entire fucking. It was like a stadium almost. Like what the fuck's happening right now? And then the engagement was there. What was it? Was Doja Cat the first biggest artist you guys got?
Was the first? Yes, Doja Cat was the first biggest artist. That was a crazy show. It was like that happened, and then right after that, she dropped "Say So," and like she already was like popping. Don't get it twisted, but like to have like Doja Cat, who's like tier A celebrity, be a part of CrowdFreak history that's pretty dope.
If somebody did want to become a part or somehow get affiliated with CrowdFreak, what would be like the steps that they would take?
That's a good question. They probably contact. I would say there's a few avenues. I would definitely go to a show, understand what CrowdFreak is to begin with, because that's the biggest part. And then from there, as you come around, I would reach out to Curtis Lamar. We have like a team of we have a team of employees that essentially help promotion, help with different shows, help with the planning and execution of each event. So just working with like Curtis Lamar, Ashley, and Chaos and the crew. That's probably like the biggest way. It's just going to a show, understanding what CrowdFreak is, connecting with the people. And most times, like most people that joined our team, we do interviews. We host interviews like every so often to join our team, but in order to join, you probably have to like know our business, be around, understand like what we're doing here, and understand the bigger purpose.
Very cool. With your music, man, I like how like we said earlier, conscious effort and really having structure and reason behind the music. Is it difficult to think about, okay, I have to cater a little bit to make things work? Would you rather be like, I need it to just internally be all me? Or is it okay for you, like you said earlier, to kind of know what works and what doesn't work for the audience? Because it seems like you're kind of saying what works for the audience. Like, I want to make sure the audience is kind of happy, but does it make you happy internally to not really get what you want across fully and just have that be the point of attraction for people?
I think I would like to think of myself as like the typical music consumer. So I feel like I'm aware of what I think the people will want, and I also like what I put out. So it's a combination too. I only put out music that I would like, and I think that it aligns with what people would like, because I feel like I'm the average listener, right? So because of that, that's how like I kind of create my music and go about my music, is just making sure like I have a pretty good gut check of like, before I drop music, like I'm gonna play it over and over again. Is it just a biased ear versus like, this is slap, right? Like, and I'll play it around people and make sure, but usually if I'm putting it out, I'm proud enough of the song and it's aligned for me to drop it. Like, I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying. It's you naturally know, like, even though you're catering a little bit, it's also something you enjoy too at the same time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not like you're putting out something, man, I fucking hate this garbage, and it's like, but I know they're gonna fuck with this shit. That's what some artists do out there, man. They're like, I know, man, because you know, like the new wave of just saying the same word over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like that shit's out now, and it's almost like, all right, bro. Yeah, you got the fucking crackheads to fuck with that shit, but like, let's get real, like, and maybe a couple people are gonna pick it up, but is that what you really wanted to do with your artistry, with the microphone, with the fucking platforms that you promoted yourself on, or would you rather put something that mattered out? Yeah. It's hard for people, man, because everybody just wants the views, they want the engagement, they want the follows, but at the same time, it's like, how much karma are you gaining by doing something that your body is rejecting at the same time? That's kind of like how Tupac said it, though. At the same time, he was creating music. He was like, I gotta make some for the ladies. I gotta make some for the gangsters. I gotta make some for the hood. Like, it was like that. But I'm sure whatever he was producing, he still had a genuine fondness to it. Yeah. With God's Favorite, man, can you talk about the development of that and the title of it, obviously, too? Yeah,
100%. Like, so the idea of the song was actually kind of funny, because I was low key going through a like tough situation, and it was just a whole bunch of other shit going on at the time. And sometimes like I was reading, because like I've been, you know, since, because I dropped the first God's Favorite, which was in 2023, I was reading a lot, and instead of like looking at things of like, why is this happening, it's more of like, this happened. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And once I started getting that perspective on things, I started realizing like, life is not as bad as like it may be portrayed to be at any given time. So like, that's why in that line I was like, and I'm still getting paper with all my evil ways, but I'm still God's favorite. Like that whole line was like more so highlighting like, bruh, although a lot of stuff was going on at the time, it was like, man, I'm still getting money. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, focused in, locked in, and shit ain't as bad as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up in the hood where I had to go find bottles to go get hot Cheetos and stuff like that. So like being from that to where I was then and now, like that's kind of like the biggest thing for me. And then with God Favorite 2, like that one, the reason why I wanted to do a part 2, because after that, back in October, I had went to cardiac arrest. Like at a young age, I was in shape. I was working out, all this other stuff. But I guess my heart is like thicker. I have a thicker heart, so like I'm more susceptible to like shit like that. So I went into cardiac arrest. I was doing all types of tests and stuff. Like my EKG level, whatever the case may be, was like really like odd and shit like that. So, and even with going through that, I'm feel better. Everything's moving smooth.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 28 years old when that happened. So it's like I feel like I'm young as hell and going through cardiac arrest, and I'm living a healthier lifestyle. So it was like, seeing that, realized like, dang, I'm really God's favorite for real, because I could have died, I could have been, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff that could have happened, and I made it through. After surviving cardiac arrest, I immediately, right after that, this like literally I was writing while I was in the hospital, because I was so motivated. I'm like, bro. And then I came out, I dropped fresh off cardiac arrest, and then like after reflected on it more, I'm like, bro, I did all these different videos. From that point, I was like, I got to shoot a video I got to drop a video every 2 weeks, and I faithfully dropped a video every 2 weeks, or at least twice a month, consistently for the last since that moment, because I wanted to commit to making sure that I'm consistent, because I can't just have something like that happen. Obviously, God spared me for a reason, so. That's the genesis of why the second guy's favorite, because even when you hear the next bars, it was talking about what would happen if I died, you know what I'm saying, and and it was outlining shit that I was like, man, this would probably this is real life thoughts. I'm like, oh, this would probably happen if I died. This would probably happen. I left money. I got a will. I got all this other stuff. So I'm like, this would probably happen too, right? So all these different things that the song says is reflective of damn, I could have died. This is what I'm if I do, this would happen. This how I foresee things going, but it's not gonna go that way. And then going into the positivities in my life too. So that's kind of the genesis of it for real.
Damn, son. When I listened to that, I had zero clue that that's what the message was from, or that's what was going on during that time. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, it was intense. I feel and I feel with my music too, it's I'm not one of those ultra conscious the Doublemint. I've seen that video. I'm not one of those, but I feel I want the tone of if the title of a song says something, I want it to be uplift or match the I want the music to match the tone of the song title. So for example, Stuck, very lo-fi, very low energy. And then you get a song like God's Favorite. Both God's Favorites are both super high tones, because I want people to feel this feeling of kind of not rejoice, but a feeling of high energy. Man, I should be happy right now, right? So that's kind of the energy that I want. I base my music a lot off the natural inclination to a song type shit.
I like that perspective too, though, that a lot of the time we look at our lives and we're like, damn, man, all this stuff is messed up, it's all messed up, but then it's bro, the fact that you woke up today is the first thing that you should be happy about.
100%.
You exist in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And take it from there. You know what I mean? We always go oh man, my life's so crazy, it's so messed up, but the fact that you woke up today is the first highlight of the day. Mm-hmm. And then it's how you handle the rest of the day can be your highlights too, if you allow it to be.
100%.
But instead we go well, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. And it's you got to rearrange your way of thinking, because if you keep thinking about the negative things, then you're going to get consumed with it to the point where you just stand still and you're stuck now. It's everything is wrong, so why would I even walk if everything surrounding me is wrong? It's not even about changing from negative to positive, because I think positive thinking is bad too. I think if you're only thinking positive, it's bad. I think it's about just living in reality, looking at your circumstances and going okay, how do I handle these circumstances? Instead of saying that these things are hurting me or making me go on the decline, how do I make these things better in my life than worse in my life? Being
solution focused, right? A lot of people they'll have a problem and they'll be able. I feel the people I don't being around the most is but they're really good at it, is people who complain, because the people who complain a lot, you typically are the best root cause people, right? They'll complain they'll find what the problem is, define the problem, and complain about it.
Yeah.
When in actuality, you should be, all right, this is the problem. How can I solve it, right? And once you get into that perspective, right? Because I like what you said about not being too positive, because you're too positive, people will fuck you over, and not only you set yourself up for disappointment. So many times I'll be like, man, I'm about to invest. I don't work with so many different music marketers and drop tens of thousands of dollars into it, right? And I'm like, man, this is gonna be it. This is me. I'm gonna be out of here after this, right? I'm like, yup. Let me go ahead and start buy my mama house real quick, because I already know. I give them the money thinking oh yeah, I'm about to be whole time it don't work out. And the thing about it is, and it's not necessarily on them either, it's just something music is such a risky business.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out, even if you got a good song. And it's when you constantly have that experience of that, someone could look at that and be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And you can get disappointed about that. But instead, of just being disappointed because you're so positive, all right, objectively take yourself out of the situation, look at the 10,000 foot view of, okay, how can I learn from this? What can I do better? And Thing about it is, I tell you this, I spend over $100,000 every year on music. Like,
Damn.
that is not a joke. Like, literally, reason why I know, because when I do my taxes, I be knowing down to the T, down to the dollar sign of what I spent. Because sometimes you don't know it, like you won't feel it until the end of the year. And every year I spend $80,000 to $100,000 on music, and it's a lot of learning. And what I've learned is that there's going to be a lot of spend until you, like, all it takes is one. So, like, there's going to be a lot of spend that you have to do in order to get the right. Sometimes it don't take that. Some people just either got from connections or by the luck of the draw to get it. But if you have a positive it's not that I have a positive mindset. It's more of a, I'm not going to quit at this. And it's kind of like the broken chair theory, right? Where you done already put so much into it to where it's like, you can't give up now because you don't already, like, I would look crazy. I done put over $500,000 into music and I quit. Like, I would be looking so stupid. That's a fucking Rolls Royce Ghost right there. I could have been out there stunting. You know what I'm saying? Tricking.
So have you seen like a return on $500,000 yet, like in music?
No, I wouldn't say I definitely didn't break even yet. No, not obviously, but I definitely didn't break even. I would say this. I think that I don't look at it from like I have so much belief in myself that it's going to work that I'm looking at this like a stock, right? Like even if I know in most stocks you can pull money out after a while, you know what I'm saying, or sell some shares in order to get some money, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this, I'm looking at it like I'm constantly investing into myself. And because I am the underlying asset and I believe in myself so much that I know eventually is going to pay off. So it's like, yes, obviously I've had revenue that came in from music. Is it anywhere near the 500,000? Fuck no. But
that's like everybody in the entertainment industry, though, bro. We're all basically trying to survive by
100%.
marketing ourselves nonstop, and it's like you said, it only takes one time to be right.
It only takes one,
and then once that happens, it's like the doors flood wide open, and it's crazy too because sometimes you'll feel like you hit it, like you said earlier, like, oh, this is it, and it's like it's not it though. It always feels like this is it. Even GMAT Cash, like, you see how many times he goes so crazy viral all the time, but it's like, has he hit the level of superstardom for how many times he's went viral and gathered 1 billion views? It's like, that's how hard it is. Like, you can get 1 billion views, bro, and still not be like courtside next to Eminem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're still loved in the city, you're still loved around the country, but somehow you're still not sitting next to Eminem, bro. Yeah. Somehow you're still not sitting to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck does it take then? Like,
yeah, and one thing I say is this. I think GMAT can out-rap 99.99% of niggas in the industry. Probably, you know what I'm saying? Like 99999. Like, he's really good.
He's still underrated.
And he's still underrated. Yeah. And a lot of that is like it goes to show too, it's like, that's how hard the music is. It's like, it's harder to be a musician or than any other industry, I feel like, in my opinion, because even take like a doctor, right? A doctor is hard as hell. Like, I'm not going to undermine a doctor, but there's a path. You go to college, you get good grades, you practice and you study for the MCAT. After you get the MCAT, boom, you then go to med school, then you do your residency, you become a doctor. Like, not saying that not to oversimplify it, but there's a path. I can try to take Drake path and won't make it. I can try to take this. There's not like a blueprint plan, and these people that be selling that there's a blueprint plan. There's no blueprint plan. People can, you can give people, in my pockets is a witness. You can give somebody 50, 60,000, say, boom, all right, cool, let's go through this marketing plan. You follow it to the T, and yes, you get net positive results from it, but you're not on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so because of that, there's a lot that goes into the music that makes it so complex, and it's hard. That's why people who make it, it's like 15 million rappers, and the industry is so hard. Like, everybody can make good music. Everybody have accessibility to music, right? I can go on BandLab right now, find a stock effect that sounds very industry level. I can go on YouTube right now and find the best beat known to mankind eventually, right? if you search for a long period of time, you can make a song in like 15-20 minutes now off your phone and immediately post it. So it's like people can learn how to mix and master. They can learn how to make beats. They have accessibility to all this different stuff. It's not like back in the day where you just had to have money. Like, no, you have to do all these different things. You got to be active on social media. You got to do all this different stuff just for the possibility. And a lot of times, man, people give up because of that.
Just for the possibility, bro.
Just for the possibility. And it's a low probability, too. It's like, think about it. There's probably out of like 60 million rappers, there's probably 10,000 that's making money in the net positive for music. And the other 10,000, there's probably like 150 rappers that people know on a consistent basis, right? Yeah. Like typically everybody, you say this name, people will have some level of like, oh, I know who that person is. That's out of 60 plus million rappers. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very, very low probability. But
if you're a pure artist, like if you're just a pure artist and you're talented and you know how to like build a fan base, you can still make a good living. But you're just not going to be like a multimillionaire or a person who's like can make instant money from like a small little like autograph signing or anything like that. Yeah. Because I know artists personally that make $100,000 a year and they're happy with that. I make $100,000 a year. This is all I do, but I'm just an artist. I go tour, I perform at shows, I open up for people, I headline shows, I sell tapes, I sell merch. I'm chilling at 100,000, but a lot of people are like, no, if I'm a rapper, I need to be a millionaire. It's like, you don't, man, come on, bro. Like, what's the medium income in America right now? Isn't it like $60,000?
Yeah, like 56,000.
And they're doing some stuff they hate. If you're an artist, at least you're making 100,000 doing something you love, bro.
100%.
But they just want the millions. They want, I need to be a rapper. I need to be a millionaire.
No, most of those rappers ain't got it, too. That's the thing. A lot of those rappers are in debt. You know what I'm saying? Debt, bro. Massive debt. You get an advance. Advance is a loan. A loan with terrible interest rates. You know what I'm saying? Like you're giving up masters, publishing, future income, all this other stuff. Not saying like if they put a deal on the table, I'm taking it, right? But at the same time, it's like in all actuality, like a deal is a loan that you have to pay back, and although you might spend it to look nice, and maybe there's income that comes in, but at the same time you got to have you got to take care of insurance, you got to take care of your own life. Like for the rest of your life, if you living off that, you have to find ways to monetize in order to make it. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And
it's just the machine that they put behind you, and if you know how to monetize while you're in the machine and build your fan base, by the time you're out of the machine, that's when the profitability really begins. So you have to understand money, and you have to understand marketing and
leverage.
Yes, and leverage as well. Yeah. That's why you see like a lot of artists freaking out about selling features all the time. It's like, man, this guy's a signed artist. Why is he freaking out about selling a feature right now? It's like this dude's trying to figure out how to make the money because he didn't make it while he signed. Yeah. It's not because if any artist was making serious money, they would not be posting features for $250, $500. They would not be posting that. 100%. But it's because they're in a bad situation. They're not making money while they're paying the machine that they need this money right now. So it's like, it is scary. Why are you seeing an artist that has 100 million views on YouTube begging for $250 features?
Right.
It's because, again, they're in the machine. They have to pay the machine back.
Yep.
Like you said, though, if you understand how to construct yourself as an entrepreneur, which is basically what you are when you're an artist, eventually you will figure it out, right?
100%.
So do you understand money to that degree? Do you understand, like, okay, this is how the shit needs to be organized?
Yeah, I feel like I have a great understanding of how to make money, how to spend money, and how to look at money, right? Like, I don't look at money as, for me personally, I don't look at it as to spend on stuff, right? Like if I'm in, even down to the clothes, chains, all this stuff, right? Like all of this stuff is assets that I'm using to further my marketability, right? Like for example, like I, even though innate, like I am a flashy motherfucker, I can't help it. When you grow up poor as hell, like I did, when you get some money, like I started making money when I was 18, immediately like start trying to portray and spend all this money. But what I've learned is that when you look at money from like an asset based standpoint and how you can not necessarily just invest, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm an investor or shit like that, but I look at what I spend, it is usually, can I get social media, like is this going to be good for my image?
Yes.
Is it going to be marketing capital that I can invest into? Or how can I use this money to better further my music, right?
Yes.
So like I could be the person that wears t-shirts, wear t-shirt, jeans, and all whites all the time, right? Like, and save all my money, right? But I know that like when you're an artist in the city, like you know that a part of credibility, like you have to have a kit in Detroit. Like it's the one city where you have to already be on or look like you already on before you on, right?
Facts.
And like that's not the wisest thing to do financially, right? The wisest thing to do is spend as little money on yourself and put all the money into music and save your money for when you got to do a big purchase. But because the path of the music in Detroit and it's a flashy ass city, you gotta come kit. Now after you done came kit, you gotta have a whip that matched the kit, because if you got chains on, buffs, and the Rolly, but you riding in the 05 Altima, you know what I'm saying? People gonna be like, something ain't adding up, and they already like questioning it. So now you gotta put all these things together, have your shit together, also you can start the promotion of music and showing that everything is congruent to what you're saying, right? Because people like to like see the realness in the music. So all that to say, I know that's a very long way to answer it, but yeah, I definitely think that like I think of money as a strategic way to I'll only spend money based on how this can impact my either image or marketability as an artist.
And it's the right way to go about it, because at the end of the day, like you said, there's a certain aesthetic that people appreciate and they need to see it in order for them to validate the music or to listen to the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Detroit loving the Get Money music, and they're not going to listen to Get Money music from a guy who doesn't look like he doesn't have any money.
Exactly.
It's the same thing as like a consultant. Like you see, I got people consulting for shit that they don't have. You ever see those marketing gurus like, I'm gonna get your shit everywhere, and it's like they don't even have 1,000 views on their shit? It's like, bitch, if you were fucking legendary like you're saying, you'd figure it out. Like the best marketer of all time for consultations is Gary Vaynerchuk. The guy literally figured out how to pop up on your screen and just tell you like, this is what you need to do.
Exactly.
And he has a consultation company, and it's like everybody's watching that shit. That's how you do the shit. I don't want to see you with 200 followers being like, I'm gonna show you how to get 1 million views. Like,
exactly. You
why
ain't
the fuck am I listening to you?
Like either that or you have to be wildly successful to like, and that's why like when I used to be a banker at Quicken Loans, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be an investment banker before that, right? And when I used to do that, the bankers that I seen make the most money, or like when I was investment banking, when they go to meet with a client, they had Armani suits, they had the Rolexes, not like regular stock, like they had specific Rolexes, they had like everything was crisp. They pull up Aston Martin, whole situation. Reason why, so when you go down and sit down and talk to somebody, the credibility is in the room without you even knowing. Oh,
absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Like you immediately see that and be like, oh, okay, this guy, like he done did business so much that he's earned all of these things. So because of that, like I should be listening to him
exactly.
right now.
It's valid now because he has the background and the reputation and the credibility. Oh man, this was an incredible talk, man. Is there anything specific you wanted to promote?
Yeah, Doublemint out now on all platforms. I'm gonna be dropping the tape this summer too as well. I don't know what day. It's probably gonna be on my birthday. I know that's so bad to say, but every time I say I'm gonna drop a tape, I always like refine it. So I'm not gonna like hold a commitment to that. But every 2 weeks you will see some content from me. So be on the lookout for the content for sure.
For sure, man. I appreciate this talk, man. Your music's great. Like I said, there's a lot of soul in it, but also a lot of energy and a lot of entertainment value, man. I did add a lot of your stuff to my playlist, and I was like, you know what? It's like a palate cleanser from all the bullshit that I've been hearing lately from the industry. So I'm like, let's go back to the underground. Even Lil Wayne's new tape, let's get real. Goddamn, son. When you listen to that bullshit, you're like, let's go back to the underground. I think the underground is the way, and I feel like you being a part of these great organizations and help pushing them forward, it engulfs you in the culture and what hip hop means so much that's why the music is delivered so well. It's because you're surrounded by it constantly. And also the intellect that you brought to the table today with really breaking down artistry for people that don't have any clue what the hell they're doing and they think they do. So I appreciate you doing all this for us today, man. Shout out CrowdFreak, shout out Backwoods and Bonfires, Henny and Hamburgers, man. Everything you guys provide is incredible, man.
Appreciate
We're
that.
at Parallel Sound Studio, High Visual Shootings Productions. We're out. Peace.